That's things. Dad's face.
I got a mustache.
Yeah, he's trying to.
I'm not seeing my mustache.
He's
Trying to
gonna.
grow a real one like Matty here, Danny.
Ah, yeah, right. That's
Dan-
more like the frat boy that forgot to shave. I look like the man of culture.
Dan's turning in more into Paul Blart.
It's actually very accurate. I am practically.
Let's get things started. Welcome to another episode of the Entertaining Stupid Podcast. My name's Buddy Jayson, and my amigos with me today are...
Matt.
It's Dan. Hi.
Hey, as you
My
can
hair's doing
see,
some weird shit.
we are over Discord again because the rules have changed, and we're back down to home bubbles for COVID. Yeah. So... we're gonna be doing this over Discord for the next little while here, and it's not gonna be the same as you know when we're all together and having a blast here. So yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys how you feel about these rules changing first and foremost.
I like it.
He allows Dan to stay inside his house more.
No, I'm not gonna stay myself, but it's just like it keeps.
It keeps
Because
jumping.
that's the thing. We get comfortable, we get complacent, and the second we get complacent, the virus comes back in full swing. I don't know. I think we should keep it at a baseline until we know everyone's been vaccinated. Everything is pretty much hunky dory. Otherwise, I don't know. I think we're gonna run into the same situation where we're constantly going back and forth between different like regulations instead of just being like, hey, let's all just lock down, stay locked down until we have this shit under wraps, and then start to make the rules saying, hey, yeah, you can go out to clubs, go out to this and that. I think that would be the most responsible thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously, I think it's good, like that you know everyone played safe and follow the rules and all that stuff. But I don't know. Also, with everything, like, it's not even that bad compared to what it is in Ontario. Like, that's pretty fucking crazy what's going on over there. Because, like, you can't even go outside, dude. You might get questioned or get ticketed by the cops for just going outside. Which is crazy.
I know it's crazy, but you know what? I applaud them on it. Good. Keep people in line because sometimes people won't otherwise. And I don't know. I just think it's
going outside. You know, like if you're going golfing, like what's that going to do?
well, if you're in close proximity, I know it's an airborne. So if you're close proximity to someone, regardless of inside or outside, you still have a chance of transmission. And I think that more often than not, if we allow, like, the outside thing is very strict, and I don't deny that. But at the same time, I'm happy for the fact that I'm like, well, you know what? Now I know that at least, like, someone is keeping them under lock. Because you know there's going to be idiots that are constantly like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go out and do it. Which is, it's human nature, right? We want to be social. We're social creatures. But I think that what needs to be done is exactly that. People, and it's like it sounds like military law. Like, oh, I can't go out at night. What kind of, bullshit is this? It's like, yeah, but the thing is, it's like a drunk driver.
I'm not questioning going out to a club or anything, Dan. That's not what I'm questioning. It's like, you can't even go outside and play frisbee with your, like, son, essentially.
No,
Like,
if that's the case,
you
then
can't go to a park.
Well, the case, it got to that reason though because people didn't obey the rules. Like that, it's the only reason why it got that bad.
I also would
people
say
didn't
that it's
pay attention.
Oh, no, I'm not going to say anything about the government, but it's like they clearly didn't plan it out properly either. I think.
Oh no, we're
say that. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, like, wouldn't it be something like it's kind of crazy that all the healthcare workers aren't fully vaccinated yet, which is crazy. You would think that'd be the first thing that you should have vaccinated. The people that are going to be working with sick people, and not everyone's vaccinated yet, which is crazy. So, and then it should be frontline workers for other things. Like, I'd say that teachers should probably have, go ahead because they're there with students every day, teaching at school. I don't know, just that kind of stuff. So, like, the fact that those people don't have it yet either is not just a failure of the people not abiding the rules. It's a failure for not having a proper plan in place.
Oh no, 100%. And like as far as
And then you're gonna keep
pandemics,
going back and forth. So like when you give some leniency, people are gonna go out and do the leniency stuff because it's been crazy for the last year and a half. It's been ridiculous, right? And I get why we do it. I understand it, and I totally agree with you that it's to protect other people, and you gotta think about other people. I get it. I'm not disagreeing with that. It's just like I can also understand where people are getting a little fed up because like it's like, man, look at how like 1/3 or probably 2/3 of the United States is already vaccinated, and barely anyone in Canada is vaccinated. Only certain age thresholds, right? So, like, I understand the frustrations. I think the frustration is just building up in Canada. You know?
yeah, no, I think that makes sense. And I think that as far as the government, or as far as the world is concerned, we are really bad at handling pandemics. I think it's been shown. Like we're getting
Really
better
bad.
now. Like COVID was a serious hit for us because people had no fucking idea. They were going out and mass buying toilet paper and trying to sell it on eBay. Like people in mass are quite stupid, and obviously like we're part of that population, of course. But I think that when it first came out, people were really dumb about it. The government had no real good plan in place because this hadn't come up before, right? And how long? And everyone panicked. Everyone did exactly what they weren't supposed to do, which was panic and go to social gatherings and not tell anybody and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
We did pretty much as a society, we did everything wrong up until a point, and then we finally now we're kind of picking up the pieces to go, oh okay, um, and it sucks. It's like you said, and it's unfortunate because like the no outside rule shouldn't be a thing, but it is a thing because people are too stupid to realize what the rules mean, and they go, oh no, I can. For example, like I work the COVID unit, and I'm close to this issue, and I admit I'm very biased in this issue because I see the people that come in from COVID, and 9 times out of 10, it's a relative of someone who went, oh yeah, we had a little family gathering, or we had this, or we had that, and I'm like, you do realize that your need to see each other, though it is valid, has put other people at risk. Like a drunk driver, you're going, you know what? I'm good when I drive. I'm good when I drive. I'm not going to hit anybody. And you drink and you drive. And every time you do that with the same in my opinion, the same mindset, the people at the beginning of the pandemic specifically, that were large gatherings, didn't give a shit, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, they are the reason we're in this kind of area now where people can't go outside, right? Where we're going back and forth on rules because every time they open up the rules, some asshats take it too far, and then the population starts to go down again, and they have to, pretty much like dictatorship, like cut down, like shut everything off, like no curfew, no one can be outside, like, and it sucks that we're at that point, but we're at that point because people don't follow rules. That's what it's come down to, and the government, and exactly like you said earlier, the government did a shitty job at handling it when it first happened, right? Really bad job, and as a society, we did a terrible job. And only now are we actually picking up the pieces.
I wouldn't just say where it just first happened because it's still continuing to be.
Oh no, it is, and that's what I'm saying. Like that was the biggest. Like that was the biggest problem, but it's still going, and that's why it's still going because people are doing exactly what they're doing at the beginning of the pandemic. They're taking it lightly, and the second people take this thing lightly, like our COVID numbers go up every time.
I tend to disagree on that statement, like that they're taking it lightly. I think some people are taking it seriously, but I mean, like
some are.
When you're that person who's been doing everything for the whole time, and you're doing good, and you think about others, and then all of a sudden, like you get punished even more for doing the same thing. I think that's where the frustration is building.
No,
like,
it's true because
really, it's like I can't even go because like in theory, technically, golf courses were open last year, and golfing was allowed in Ontario. People went golfing. They were all separated, like pretty much. They weren't close to each other. There could only be a certain amount of people on, in a group, and all that stuff. So everything was following that way. It for some reason I don't know. I don't have the medical background or the scientific background on COVID, but it seems that at least when there's warm weather and it's outside, it tends not to spread as often. That's what I've heard. I could be way off. I'm not claiming that I know it. I've just heard that and read that previously.
Mm-hmm.
And vitamin D is supposed to help stop the virus.
I can see that. Vitamin D is a lot of it's it's immune system, so makes sense.
From that standpoint, I could see people going like, "What the fuck? Like, I can't go outside right now." Like, especially in Ontario. Like, it's thankfully not here, because that'd be like even crazier. Like, I couldn't even go walk my dog right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. So, I know. I'm thankful that we're in a province where we don't have that kind of crazy shit yet. But
yeah, I definitely think that we are lucky that we still are able to go outside because I think that's one of the things that's helping me get through all of these tribulations here. Is like I like to go for a walk or a run outside in the sunshine because it just brightens my mood, gets me out of the house.
Releases endorphins.
Yeah, exactly. I'll head outside, pop on my headphones, and start running. Banging out to some music and just enjoy the day. And it's strange. I'm going around and I'm listening to a lot of the old stuff that I haven't listened to in a long time, and it's fucking just like cruising through the neighborhoods and stuff like that, listening to fucking Aqua and Vanga Boys, some old classic that Euro synth music. And I totally had forgotten about it until I think it was just like a couple of weeks ago. Our buddy Ray was like, Jayson, you need to see this music video, and it was for Vanga Boys' what was it, Up and Down, and in the music video it's just this old Asian salesman just trying to sell you some virtual reality set, and like I don't know what about it, but like Ray was laughing his head off at the phrase cheap that the that the Asian man just kept saying over and over and over again. And yeah, it was just it's nice to go back and listen to stuff I haven't listened to in a long time, and it's like I really did enjoy that type of music back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah.
Is that your genre?
For now, it's my genre of the month that I'm running to. But like, I always have like these go-tos that I just hit when I'm like, I don't know, feeling in a bad mood or something like that. Like, if I'm ever feeling a bit depressed or sad or something like that, and I want to get pumped up or something, it's the punk rock that really gets to me, man. Like listening to the old Sum 41. Blink 182 and all those guys really just get me back into I don't know, like a better mood. And I was just wondering if you guys had any sort of like go-tos to help you guys feel better.
No, I definitely do. Actually, I was gonna say I don't want to I'll put a nail in it, but I want to make one more point. Like for the COVID thing, like Matt is totally right though. It's because of the fact that like Ontario, right? They can't go outside. We can, because people in Saskatchewan, like Matt included, right? We listen to rules, and we listen to, okay, if we're gonna go out to a bar or a club or something, we're gonna wear a mask. We're gonna do all this kind of shit, right? Like, and I think that the thing is with people that didn't, those are the people that made it. Those are the people that made it like this, right? The people in Ontario who didn't care, who didn't want, said, fuck it, let's go to a thing. So I think that and you're right, because I'm painting it with the negative brush. People who do follow like the actual rules and regulations, I got no problem with them. I think that they're fine. Truly, I think they're fine. I just think it's like it sucks for the people that don't, and then it's make it worse for everybody else. And so I'll leave it at that because I'm just beating a dead horse now. But yeah, I think the Saskatchewan handled it really well. I think a lot of other places didn't, and obviously our population density helps too, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
But like, I don't know. All in all, I just think I'm like, you know what? I'm happy with how we handled it as a province, and like a lot of other people didn't. Yeah. So, and I don't know. I guess as a province, I'm proud. As a country, we did pretty shit. But like, I don't know. My United States did worse. So I think it's one of those situations where it's like you kind of got to pick and choose which one you want to win, or like you can't have I'm just trying to think of a good way to put it. You can't have like everything being negative, but you also can't have like. I'm trying to. Anyway, as a country or as a province, we did well. As a country, we did poor.
Okay.
And I'll leave it. I have a dog in that fight, as you can tell. But no, we can go on to music. My bad. I had to finish that point because I feel like I'm talking shit.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Danny, do you got any go-to when you're feeling in a bad mood?
Yeah, I think I do. Like, realistically, when I'm feeling like shit, my biggest thing is probably going into like something like Enya, or something that like kind of makes me feel calm, makes me feel okay. Like, hey, it's Enya. Nothing's really going too bad with that, right? Like,
I don't even know who the fuck Enya is, man.
Hey, really? You never heard of Enya?
No.
Oh, dude, Enya's awesome. They're the like sail away kind of guys, Sail away, sail away. Or am I? Jayson, you know Enya.
Yes. Oh, are they?
How do you spell Enya?
ENYA.
Only Time. I think that's the only song I know
Only
from them.
Time.
Only
Yeah,
Time
Only Time.
is by. Oh no! Didn't they have? I thought Enya. No, Enya's got a song in the Lord of the Rings. Don't they?
Do they?
I think.
Oh,
I
I
think.
need to know about this. If
I think
I didn't even know.
I think it's part of they're on the official soundtrack.
Really?
Oh, let me just quickly look this up.
You like? Is it a folk band?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of folky. May It
Because,
Be is
you've heard of
a.
Enya.
They sold like 30 million copies. I've never heard of them. That's
Enya,
hilarious.
dude, Enya's like, okay, you know what it is though, because Enya's a very niche band. Like, do you remember Deadpool? Like, do you remember when he's in the like the bathhouse? Like with the
Sorry,
like
movie?
like Deadpool, yeah, like when he's in the bathhouse
Yeah,
with a
in
bunch of guys.
Deadpool 2,
That
right?
that song
Deadpool
is
2.
Enya.
Okay. No,
Like that's Enya.
I wouldn't know. Like, yeah, I have to go YouTube it.
Yeah, Dan, Enya does have a song called May It Be that is on the official Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings soundtrack.
It be. Oh, you're totally fucking right. Isn't that awesome? I never knew that. That's dope as shit, man.
Yeah.
I honestly never knew that they were on. Like that made my. I didn't know they were on there. Fucking Christ, Enya.
It's even even more of a way to love them.
Because I
had
am a
no
bit of a
idea who that
fanatic.
was. No idea. No idea.
And yeah, no, my bad. And yeah, I realized even after I brought it up again, yeah, fucking COVID. I gotta stop getting. And also, my parents get so hysterical about it, and like that bugs me too. Like the fear mongering that some people do. Like they sit at home too much watching the news, and all they can think about. And sorry, get off of it. Get off
Yeah,
of it.
Dan, you should just tell your parents to chill out and listen to some
I'm
Enya.
gonna get pulled from YouTube again. Damn it.
Yeah, we're gonna get pulled. No, it is though. It's because I work a
Game's
COVID
done
unit and I'm
getting
biased. I'm very biased, and I shouldn't be asked COVID questions because I think everyone should stay at home because I'm an introvert and it's easy for me, but it's not easy for everybody.
Yeah. All right, Dan. Or sorry, Matty. You got anything that you usually hit up just to make yourself feel better?
Bad?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of songs that I could say. It just depends on the time. I would say like when I'm most anxious or something like that, it'd be more like heavy stuff, like more like metal or new metal, like Linkin Park. A really good one that kind of deals with like in the moment is like Crawling. That's a really good song. I don't know if a lot of people know it. That's my favorite like Linkin Park song.
The Crawling Through My Skin one?
Yeah, that one's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got really good lyrics that kind of help you. Like that's pretty much what you're going through in the moment when you're like having really bad anxiety or panic situation stuff. Shadow of the Day is a really good one by Linkin Park. That one's just like, you know, at the end of the day, the sun's gonna set. You wake up the next morning when the sun rises, kind of vibes. So it's like, yeah, today can be a shitty day, but tomorrow will make it better because you're still, you know, still kicking, still going. I do like Skillet. I've been like last year I started listening to Skillet for the first time. I had no idea they were a Christian rock band until later. I really thought they were just a freaking good band. They got some really good songs. Feel Invincible is a really good one. They have another one. I just want to find it here. Legendary's good. There's another one that's just really good. But yeah, I would check out Skillet. I'd recommend Skillet to a bunch of people. They just make you feel good. Like it's kind of one of those things. Like if you're down on the ropes or something like that, like they kind of just boost you up with like it's mostly positive messages and stuff like that. And like I said, I had no idea that it was like a Christian rock band until later. And I was like, oh, okay. I've been lately though, like I haven't, like I don't know about that topic, like about feeling down, but I've been listening to like a lot of Volbeat. I've been listening to a lot of Blink 182. I just started listening, like essentially like on Apple Music. If you click a song, after that song's done, it'll just go through like things that are in the same kind of genre or that kind of time era.
Yeah, so it
I
does like a
clicked on
radio
this-
kind of.
Yeah, it's like almost like a radio thing. So just listen to different songs. I'm like, oh fuck, I hadn't heard of them in a long time. So like, Man Overboard by Blink 182 came up one time. So I listened to that like every second day or something like that. It's a funny song. I've been listening to a lot like 3 Days Grace. Isn't that same kind of thing with Volbeat? So I've been like re-listening to a lot of them. There's just so many good bands, man. Like even the All American Rejects, like they have some really good songs. Like Move Along's a really, really good one if you're like feeling like shitty. That's a super good one because that'll make you feel way better about yourself. I've been listening to a crap ton of Offspring. as well. So I've been listening to everything. I'm all over the place, man. I would say my favorite genres are probably rock, punk rock, and kind of like not heavy metal, but metal. And then I do like hip hop and all that stuff, but those would probably be the ones I've been back on too.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have an eclectic sort of taste in music, because like I go from things like classic blues to like fucking this new kawaii metal with like baby metal and like J-pop and K-pop. Yeah. Oh man, I will send you a link, Danny, to show you some
metal.
Kawaii metal.
Because kawaii is
cute.
Metal
band? What's that one metal band? And like, I think they're from Korea or they're from like Japan, and they're like super heavy, and it's like chicks that sing.
Yeah, it's little teenage girls that sing. Yeah, baby metal. They spawned a whole genre of this thing called kawaii metal, Dan. I will send you a link to one of the music videos, and like
they're like it's like almost like America's Got Talent. They just come up for the first time like, oh, like they're gonna be like singing songs, and all of a sudden it goes like heavy metal.
Oh, okay, so it's like the surprise.
Yeah.
Like metal, you're like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, and like you can find videos of them like performing in like huge stadiums and stuff like that, and it's like they get the crowd like pumping, like they're the crowd's like fucking circling and like just like moshing out, and it is fucking crazy. Oh,
isn't it? Because like that's the one that, you know what it is. That's the kind of music that defies expectations, right? You look at someone and you go, "Oh, I know what's gonna come out of their mouth," and then the second thing you're like, "What? What?" And that'd be fun. That'd be fun to see like people's expectations. Because I will admit, naturally, you see a bunch of small. What is it? I don't know. Is it K-pop? Is it baby metal? Is it Korean based? Is it?
No, it's Japanese. It's Japanese.
Japanese. Okay. Because I didn't want to I was saying, because if there's if you see a Japanese band, you kind of assume it's gonna be, the K-pop kind of stuff, the very like light and breezy and dance and like that, not heavy rock. Like that's fun. That's defying expectations.
Yeah, and like I will always go back to like classic rock and like punk rock and stuff like that. And something I read online was that because of the passage of time, the classic rock genre is sort of like changing. There's old classic rock where we think of like Aerosmith, AC/DC, Kansas, and that kind of stuff, and like to this newer generation, their classic rock is Nirvana, Creed, Foo Fighters, and stuff like that. And it's just like, it blows my mind. It's like, hey, I love that stuff. Is that now classic rock?
Yeah.
I guess what defines classic rock,
probably.
right? Like.
It's just the passage of time, I guess.
Yeah, because you're right. At one point, and it is. I kind of thought about it, where everyone's like, back in my day, and I'm not sure about you guys, but especially as far as music wise, like there's some new. Like I'm usually like I just do Discover Weekly, and I just kind of like try to listen to anything. But there's sometimes I hear music and I'm like, is this good? Is this something that like people like? And like I know it's obviously everyone's opinion, but that's the moment where you sit there like, oh god, I've become old, like that. But you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh no, I'm telling people about the music back in my day. My music was better.
You're like listening. It's like, yeah, this stuff's crap. Nirvana was better. That was the top. And it's like,
oh, and then these guys. Well, the thing is too. Like for example, the one thing I listened to recently, I went down like a YouTube rabbit hole. They led me down like rap. And some of them are good, but holy fuck, the amount of people that do this mumble rap shit, and I just can't stand it. Like, I know every one of you guys, like, you've listened to Eminem, you've listened to, like, I'm not sure I'm not that much of a connoisseur. The most I've listened to is, like, Eminem, some 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, and, like, maybe some,
You know what's crazy? Like, I used to listen to Eminem, like, when I was, like, before I was a teenager, or, like, but I haven't really listened to him since. Like, I liked all his, like, funny songs when I was a kid, and they were, like, like just fucking hilarious and all that, but now I just don't listen to him at all. And it's not because I don't think he's a good rapper or anything. I don't know. I just don't listen to him.
No, I think I know, but at least for now, like there's people I hear, and this is and when I heard these mumble rappers, I'm like, what the fuck is this? That's the moment where it hit me. I'm like, is this good? Do people like this? Like, I can't even understand what they're saying.
Is this music? Like you get one word every like 2 or 3 seconds where they emphasize so that they're rapping, but otherwise it's like trying to talk to talk to someone through fucking like 3 walls. It's like, what?
Yeah, well, because like you're sitting there and all you hear is bitches, and I'm like, what the fuck is? I
Like,
heard
I
one
wouldn't
word
even,
out of there.
I don't
Most of
even
this,
know the last rap.
yeah, most of these mumble rap stuff is kind of like at a slower pace. But like in my mind, like if I thought like if someone tries to mumble rap at like a higher cadence or something like that, it just turns into like scat man.
Yeah, yeah, but Scatman actually had some talent to it. He does fucking mumble. Like Scatman is actually pronouncing and he's saying things at least.
I don't even know, man. Like, I don't even have like a real like. I don't have much rap on here anymore. Like, I used to like.
I will do like, I'll do like old school like old school hip hop R&B stuff like some like Ice T, Ice Cube, Tupac, Biggie, like that kind of stuff.
That's way better rap than what we have now. Like 100%. Like I've listened to a crap ton of Ice Cube and you know like that stuff. Like I really like Biggie. He's got some really good songs too.
Yeah, like that stuff.
Mike Shinoda, like from Linkin Park is. I don't know if he's not a rapper. He's like hip hop, right? Like he does hip hop. Like it's like rap style, but it's hip hop. But I'm more into that. You know, like NWA was awesome.
Yeah,
like, that album's so good. The first album is amazing. Ice Cube. And then when they had that beef, it was hella dope, man. Like when Ice Cube left.
Did you watch the movie on that? His son, Ice Cube's son. It like obviously he's his son, but holy shit, did an amazing job. Amazing job. I watched it recently too. I really liked it.
Have you ever heard that song No Vaseline?
Nope. Never heard it before.
It's like a whole burn. It's like that's where they get, you know, that scene where they all like are listening to him after Ice Cube
and they're all getting pissed off.
Yeah, and they're all like, they're all like, fuck, it's pretty good. And Jerry gets super mad.
Yeah.
Oh, this fucking guy. Yeah, it's because like they had said something in a rap song, and he got back to them and he destroyed them in the rap song, and he said they're all getting forked up the butt with no Vaseline.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, when they had to realize, and they knew it after, like they picked a fight with the guy that writes their lyrics.
Pretty much all their songs, yeah.
Yeah, like who the fuck do you think? Like, what do you think's gonna happen?
But actually, Eazy-E, like if you actually listen to some of his songs, like, but he does solo, they're really good too, actually.
Who Easy? Oh yeah, Easy. Didn't he get like I thought he got like some sort of cancer, which is really unfortunate.
No, he died of AIDS.
Ah,
yeah.
Man.
Well, that's what happens in the movie. Don't you remember?
That's the thing. I watched about 3/4 of it.
Oh, he didn't finish it. Yeah, he died.
I didn't finish it yet.
No, because he dies of AIDS. He dies of AIDS or HIV, like one of the two.
That's some fucking terrifying shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that was about a time where AIDS had, let's say that's no
like
Magic
right
Johnson hadn't figured
90s.
out.
Yeah, it was right in the 90s when they just started getting announced, right? Like, yeah. So, I really like him. He's a good one. But I like, that's kind of hip hop I like. I don't listen to a lot of rap or anything.
Can you imagine like 20, 30 years down the line when we're old ass men, this current stuff today becomes, you know, the good old classic things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because you meant like the baby rock, right? All of a sudden they'll be like, yeah, that classic, like that baby rock. I don't like this adult rock shit. You know what I mean? It'll become the new norm. And then everyone will go, oh, I guess this is where it is.
That's what you're finding out though now, is that there isn't a lot of new big rock bands. Like, there really isn't. Like, it's mostly like, and same with like maybe metal's a little different because I'm not huge in that scene, but like all the big bands are still going. Like they're in their 40s now, right? Or they're starting to get in their 50s, but they're still kicking around.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
like,
right.
They can't consider like they're just still touring, right? So like, I kind of think Metallica's got to be like they got to be all close to being 60. I gotta think that.
No, Metallica has to be. They're getting up there now.
Yeah, let me Google it right now. Metallica. The lead singer's 57, so they're getting there. So like that's the thing, like those bands are, and then everyone still loves AC/DC. So like, and they still tour. It's crazy, and they're like 70s.
Mm.
Yeah, and then just like, you know, when we're all old and gray, it's like, yeah, the Weeknd is, you know, classic hip hop. Drake, you know, all those guys are just like classic, you know, the good old stuff.
The one thing you can say about The Weeknd that's really impressive is like it's totally his voice. Like his voice is so freaking unique compared to a lot of people, and he can blend it with really insane beats. Like when he was working with Daft Punk and all that. Like He's got such a nice voice.
Oh, no, you're totally right.
But I mean, yeah, it'll be crazy, like you said, like it'll be a time cap. But that's the cool thing about music. It's like just a time capsule. Like it'll always be there, which is kind of cool. Like, because like when people die, you're like fuck. Like when Chester Bennington died, I was super like sad and pissed, and like you're like shit. Like it took me a long time before I could listen to them again because like you just kind of wish he was still there because then they could be making new music and all that stuff. But then you get like it's like, well, wait a minute, like he's not really gone because he's got this music that's like a capsule that will always be there, and you can always hear his voice. You know, it's like, well, he's always gonna be like with whoever, right, or whoever resonates with him because you can always listen to him.
Mhm.
So like that's the cool thing about music is that it'll never die. Like it'll always be there. People can always listen to it, even when someone's passed on. You have all that great work that you can cherish and listen to until you go away, right? Until you die.
And I just wonder, like, with all, like, everyone's like experimenting with shit, like what kind of new genres pop up? Because like Dan never knew what kawaii metal was until just like a couple minutes ago. Yeah, and like it started a couple of years ago, and I think it's picking up, where there's more and more bands doing some kawaii metal stuff, and there's some weird ass shit out there, man. It's like I don't know who in their right mind would have thought, let's pair these two things together and hope, and it's going to be phenomenal.
That is a good point. Like I don't know.
Like I feel like this is kind of like how like Weird Al felt like when he first started doing parodies and stuff like that. It's like he did it as like a joke or something, and like it just fucking kicks off and goes, and you know he's made a whole career of it.
Yeah, like the thing is, like you have to create bangers, man. Like that's the thing. You have to create really good. Like it's like the shitty thing is like nowadays it's all about singles. It's not about like the entire album. Like before, it's like, man, like you want your album to hit platinum, and you know like you have all these great songs put in an album. But now like you can just focus on a single, and the single could sell platinum, you know, sales, and then you make crap ton of money just from that one song. So like, for example, I think like Jayson, you know Hoodie Allen.
Yep.
Like his first three, like what was the last album? Not the All American. What was after All American? What was the one after All American?
People Keep Talking.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, so like that was just the whole album is so good. Like every song on the album's good, and same with All American. Like they're both really good albums. And then like Linkin Park's first like two albums, right? Hybrid Theory, and then Meteora are just like every song's so good. I can remember like, was it Toxicity? That's the one by System of a Down.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole album with like Chop Suey and all that. Like that album's insane. Like it's so every song is so good on that album. And now you can just have one good song, like single, and then the rest could be really shit. But you have the one single, and that might get you somewhere. You know?
It's unfortunate if that's what they actually care about.
Yeah, it's just the one thing. One thing that goes viral, and all of a sudden you're just famous. I mean, a bunch of guys on YouTube make a cover of an old she shanty, and all of a sudden that genre starts blowing up like crazy.
Yeah. But like that's what makes music so cool and different, because like everything changes all the time in music, and that like, but that's what I love about the old stuff, because you can have the whole album and every song you're like, oh, like you know,
it's an experience from listening from the start to the end.
Yeah, like
Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon was a fucking experience to go through, and go through the entire album with it all. And I mean, people have done studies where they've like matched it up to like certain films and stuff like that, and like it so perfectly, like background soundtracks, like I think it was like the Wizard of Oz. You can watch it from the beginning to end with the album playing, and like it fits perfectly into it, and it's just like, whoa, you never expect that kind of stuff.
Like the album American Idiot is all about one character, the entire album. Like it's the Jesus of Suburbia. Like that is like the character in the entire album, and it starts with American Idiot and goes all the way to the end, like the final song, and it's a whole huge ballad to like, and that's why there's a play about it, right? Because they made an album about one character that they made up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. and with sort of like how everything's going with like singles and stuff like that, I just feel like people are just like trying to pump out one song at a time, and I kind of miss those days where it's like you have sort of a flow of concepts and stuff like that travels throughout like the whole album, where your one song starts playing off of some of like the same riffs and melodies from like a previous song or something like that. Hi, kitty. Ooh.
Well, my question, like, to you is, like, do you watch, I barely watched it, but it was on Ashley's parents' house, the Grammys this year?
I don't watch a lot of those award shows.
I don't either. It was on. I knew one person the entire thing. I didn't know anyone else. And then I looked up at the winners after. I didn't know any band except Dua Lipa. And, that's the only person I knew who was there. I didn't know anyone else.
Are we just getting, like, old and, like, we just don't know these new...
This is the problem with I don't listen to radio. It's so relevant to me to listen to the radio now. I just pick songs that I like, or
yeah, well, because I mean, like we all have subscriptions like Apple Music, Spotify, and that kind of stuff, and like
you can find out stuff like that, but I don't go out of my way to listen to Apple Music radio or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all just shit I kind of like, and I just wait for something to get announced or something. For the most part.
I think that's where I find like I don't listen to the radio either. I think like Danny, I'll go through my weekly recommendeds and radio playlist or something like that off of Spotify, and they start recommending songs to me, and that's where I figure out where I find all these new songs that are, I guess, new to me. They might be a couple of years old or something like that, but this is where I find bands that I've never heard of before, and that's where I start listening to their stuff, and that's where I get, I guess, I get these new interests and stuff like that. I don't use the radio anymore. Like, it's not worth it. I don't.
You get one song every 10 minutes.
Yeah, and
the rest is like all bullshit. Like,
I don't like the personalities on the radio. I don't like the ads on the radio, and I don't like. Maybe it's just like the fact that I don't really have control over it.
Yeah. And then with podcasts coming along too, it's harder because it takes up more of your time now instead of the music before. Like, I find that, like, I'll go in phases where, like, I'll listen to music the whole time, but then I'll listen to podcasts for, like, a certain period of time, and I'll go back and forth. There's, like, I don't mix both. Like, it's usually, like, I'm just on a huge podcast or, like, maybe a ebook or whatever, and you just listen to the whole thing. Like, I go in those kind of phases, and I mostly listen to that and debate shows or whatever, like, sports debate shows. Then I do music, but then once you have the music, it's podcast is taking over, boys. That's why we need to get famous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, that's gonna definitely happen.
We're gonna get all their strikes. Just Stefan's gonna keep on bringing up stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'll have to change our name to something else podcast.
Something else podcast.
Okay, now I have a question about do you guys use music to have sex to? Because I think that's always been something that's like, or to get you guys in the mood or something like that.
No, I can't say I've used that, but I've heard of people who do. I can tell you a story of a song that I'll never forget that I heard. Like, I know someone was having sex to, though, because, like, it was hilarious. I won't give away names, but I was at this place with a bunch of my friends that aren't on the podcast here, and this guy was seeing this girl, and then they went to the bathroom, and then I distinctly remember Scream and Shout by will.i.am coming on, and then all of a sudden, like, one of our friends goes up, like, to the bathroom, and then he puts his ear against the door, and he's like, I hear her moaning. I think they're having sex. and then we just all went around in a circle, like, around, like, outside the bathroom door, like, yelling that song, like, especially, like, the oh we oh we oh we oh. And, like, that's one song I'll never forget, like, to something happening, but it wasn't obviously me, but I just thought it was funny. It was hilarious.
I get that. No, I've never had an actual song. I think one of my exes had, like, a weird rap song that was really aggressive, and that was the only thing I've ever recollected
this
to be
after or during?
during. Like she had a like a playlist she liked. I never really was into that kind of stuff, but
Okay, because like I have a lot of like Barry White playing, just like yeah, some Barry White playing, while we first get started, I say, and it gets people in the mood. It's a nice little background thing to sort of block out any exterior noises. Because a couple of times you could hear like the girl's cats meowing from the other side of the door, and I'm like, that's kind of killing the mood there.
it's like, please,
I bet
cat.
you, like, come on, Connor has to listen to Careless Whisper, right? Like, yeah, that has to. Be
Kenny G, yeah.
George Michael all day for Connor.
George Michael.
Some Kenny G, like
Careless
that's.
Whisper. Do 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 do. Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Now, well, if you guys don't do anything in that aspect, do you guys have anything like you work out to really get you like feeling into the groove?
Yep. I remember when I started running the first time, Macklemore was huge, man. Like, what was that? What was that big song, man?
Thrift Shop.
Yeah, Thrift Shop. Thrift Shop would get me.
Yeah,
would get
Macklemore
me
became
amped
famous
up.
off Thrift Shop.
Yeah, Thrift Shop got me amped up to run. I don't know. I like the beat and all that. It was just fun. Bleed It Out. It's a really good one by Linkin Park. Like, because it's just a really fast-paced song. So anything like fast-paced or like heavy, like hard, like and then that stuff gets me amped up, man. And actually, like I can't work out unless it's to music. That's one thing I will say with music. Like, it has to be music I'm listening to.
Yeah, it's got to be like really high tempo-y for me for like running and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I think my
Yeah,
go-to.
you have to something that gets you amped.
Yeah,
I really like that's for like EDM stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
EDM
a lot of
stuff,
club music, EDM. Like my go-to is I think it's what was it? Cascade?
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say every time we touch by Cascada or whatever is awesome.
Yeah, Cascada. Yeah, that song there is like my go-to to get me first started.
That beat is so fast paced, man. It's like dun, dun. Yeah, it's so good, man.
Yeah, that one's just like the perfect rhythm for me to.
She has another one called Evacuate the Dance Floor. That one got me amped up too. Fuck yeah. But yeah, EDM was a huge one for me when I'm at the gym. I don't even think I can actually work out without music.
I can if it's like weights
hard,
and like if it's weights and stuff like that, I can do it without music. Because there I'm focusing more on like my technique and like my breathing and stuff like that. So that's where I'm paying attention to that kind of stuff. But like when I'm running or like on the bike or like the rowing machine or something like that, just like some EDM, Cascada. Right now it's like Aqua and the.
Do you create a playlist? I make playlists all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I actually I'm a bit weird when it comes to that kind of stuff. When I work out or when I go on a treadmill, I listen to one song, and only one song on repeat. And not the same song, but I will listen to one song because like the biggest thing for me when it comes to anything like that is it's a tempo. And the second I have one song's tempo down, it's like I'm in a zone.
Dan needs the motivation when he's running, so he listens to Where There's a Whip, There's a Way.
Yeah, I do. I do every once in a while. Where There's a Whip.
To Run Around Sue by Dion.
What the hell is Runner? I actually don't know what that is.
Oh, it's just a song.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, it's like a 50s song. You listen to stuff like that, though. I know, because you had your parents' like iPhone or something the one time, because your iPhone was busted or something, and you had their playlist, and you're like, I only got my mom's playlist, Matty. And you like had something on there that you like.
Yeah, I did.
I remember that. It was like the Beatles like come together or something. You're like, I can't stop listening to it, Matty. I can't stop.
I can't. Well, you know, because it's one of those moments where the second I listened to it, I'm like, you know what? It was Phil Collins. Is my mom had a full fucking album of Phil Collins.
Phil Collins in the air tonight.
Yeah, and I was listening to like in Japan especially. I listened to nothing but fucking Phil Collins. I loved it, because Philly was my boy.
Philly was your boy.
I know. I really enjoyed it. So for me, it was all about the Phil Collins it's just because my mom had it on her phone, and I had not put any music on it. So of course the only album on there was Phil Collins. So I listen. I you know I rock.
And the best
Phil
part
Collins
is you
so
like
long.
let that stay as the only album on that phone for like 6 months. It was
Yep.
like it was a long time before you had it.
No, 100%. I'm like that's laziness.
like,
Plus, I
you're
don't mind
lazy to
Phil
do it.
Collins.
Yeah, you're just like I don't give a shit.
Phil Collins is fucking gorgeous, man. The man. Again, I just appreciate how much effort he puts in to those tracks. Like he goes ham, and I love him for it.
I will say that. Yeah, that's true. Was it like? Are we talking like Tarzan album stuff, or like you know, like he did a whole album for Tarzan or something?
Yeah, he slapped.
He slapped during that time period. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Jason? Like, is it mostly just like like you said, like the '90s stuff, and then
A lot of like, yeah, just like 90s, like, cause like I'll still go back and listen to like 60s, 70s, and 80s like rock stuff like that, or every now and then I'll even go further back and do some like Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin kind of stuff.
yeah, a lot of people like that stuff. Yeah, no, for sure. Like,
It really all just depends on what kind of mood I'm in and what I feel like doing.
Dean Martin had some good songs on the Rat Pack.
Yeah, like at work, if I just want to like buckle down and like get through some paperwork or reports or something like that. Right now, I am going through a weird phase of like finding these weird ass mashups that people are putting together, and just like listening to like Taylor Swift mashed up with like the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I listen to those sometimes too on YouTube. They're freaking good, man. They do some really good stuff. Those mashups, I really enjoy those, and I love it when people do like their own remixes.
No,
like,
me too, right,
They're
Dale?
really good remixes. Like sometimes they're like just, and the shitty thing is you can only find them on YouTube, so you have to like listen to the YouTube playlist on the app the whole time. But it's so good. Like
It's just like I don't know. There's some people though. Tell me how much you get pissed when you look for the original song, and all you can fucking find is shit. All you can find is people trying to make covers. I'm like I don't care. I'm like I know that sounds mean, but I'm like I don't care if you're trying to like establish some sort of talent. I'm like I just want to watch the original song and 18 different million versions of like Hello or something like that. I'm like stop. Just I want the original song. I don't know, that pisses me off sometimes.
But there's some songs that are actually better as remixes. Like, I Took a Pill in Ibiza is like the one that we all know is a remix version of the original, and it's better. Like it just has the great beat going along with it. Like that was a song I used to listen to all the time when I was at the gym. Like I Took a Pill in Ibiza. That was a good one. Man.
Yeah,
that
I remember.
had
Yeah,
some really good beats. Like.
Because he wanted Avicii to think he was cool.
Yeah.
Do you think Avicii thought he was cool after?
Well, I hope so. Hopefully before he died.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot he. Oh.
Yeah. Avicii
How did he die again?
I think.
He was found in his room, and I think he OD'd or something.
Yeah. He had a lot. He had some issues, I think.
Yeah, not kidding.
Yeah. But he was like really. He had some awesome songs too, man. Like "Wake Me Up" is another good one by Avicii. But yeah, I'm all over the place. Playlists.
Yeah, and I think like I don't think there's anything like I hate. There are some things that I just do not prefer. I'll listen to it if it's the only option, but there are things like, you know, the fact that we live in Saskatchewan, you know, country music for me is something like I tolerate. Like it's not my go-to. If it's the only thing playing, then, you know, I will make do. Yeah. But it's not my preference or like my go-to there.
Nah, me neither. Yeah. The
and
only country I really have on my phone is John Denver, "Take Me Home," and that's like one of my favorite songs. It's a classic.
There are like rare cases because like back in the day, the classic rock stuff kind of bled into country too because it was all part of like that same kind of.
That's like different. Like I mean that like even you could get like consider Fleetwood Mac has a little bit of country to it, right?
Yeah, Leonard Skinner has a little bit of country to it.
I would say that's like more infused. Like I'm like talking like Luke Bryan or whatever. I don't listen to those.
Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, or Kenny Chesney or whatever. I don't listen to those guys. Like, not that I don't think they're bad. Like they're clearly talented.
It's just not our preference.
It's not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's just.
But I know a shit ton of people that love country. Like love country.
Yeah, especially here in Saskatchewan. A lot of the girls love the countries, and it's like I tolerate it, but that's not my.
Yeah, I'd prefer not to listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I was just wondering if you guys had anything that like, you guys just don't like or just a flat out refuse to listen to.
That's a good question. That's a very good. That's making me think. Trying to think here. I won't listen. Like I don't like. I don't really like what's her name. Oh fuck. I don't think it's like really good music. It's like the ladies who made WAP. That song WAP.
Cardi B. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not into that kind of style at all. But
Cardi B should be in prison.
To each their own. Like, I just find it weird that like people love it, like that song. It's like, but then also like, can you consider it like really insensitive and stuff? I don't know. But that's not my place to speak about that, so I don't really care. I'm not going to say any more about that. But I don't like that kind of genre. Like, I know a lot of people like her, and all the power to her for having that fanfare and all that stuff. But it's not my style. I would probably just kind of walk away. It's like you know the actress there, Melissa McCarthy, like Tammy and all that shit.
Yeah.
Those movies.
Yeah.
I like refuse to watch those movies. I do not. I would walk. I'd rather walk away and walk home. Walk 10 kilometers home than watch Tammy and get a ride home after. Like I just do not like those things.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
like a pandering comedy.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like that's what the Cardi B music is to me. It's like I would just rather walk away.
Well,
not listen to it.
I don't know the thing that about like Cardi B, Chris Brown, anyone like that. Like these people who have done crimes. Have
what did she do? I don't know. What
she drugged and robbed men.
Oh, really?
Like
when she was a stripper or something like that.
She'd bring men back and be like, hey, like you want to pay for my services, kind of thing, like a hooker. They'd pay her, and arguably, I will say this much: the guys in those situations, scummy guys too, no doubt. But 100%. What she did was borderline. She would drug them, and then she'd rob them.
Yeah.
And she did that to numerous people, and she excuses herself by saying, that's just what you got to do. I'm like, no, it's not. You don't have to be a fucking asshat. And like people support her, and I can't. It's resounded in me.
They don't just support her; they love her.
They love her, and they love her. They love Chris Brown even after he beat Rihanna. I'm like, the people that do that, I'm like, you're beyond hope.
I don't know how that man still has a fucking career.
This is the thing, because people are fucking idiots, and like as much as I always want to give everyone credit and say, you know what, no, as a society, we were majoritarily, or Jesus, after I say it like that, we are most of us idiots. That is what it is down to. Because holy crap, the amount of people that support him say, you don't know what Chris Brown is going through. I'm like, I know what he went through. Rihanna's cheekbone. Like what the fuck? Like when people say that kind of shit, all I can think is I'm like, okay, this man, fully proved guilty in a court of law with video evidence or with photo evidence, has beaten a woman nearly to death, and you as another woman think that's fine. Or as a guy, you think that's fine. You're like, he's changed.
It'd be one thing, like if he made a huge statement and was like, I'm taking X amount of time off. What I did was wrong, or like he accepts and gets a punishment and then tries to rehabilitate himself down the road. And, like this is what I've done. This is what I've done. Like that'd be one thing, because then you're kind of like trying to rebuild yourself as a person, and people can kind of get behind that. Like you're like, oh, he's better. Like. See, like he donates most of his money to charity or whatever, and he's like, I gotta be better. Like I have this fan base, right? And then he does courses on like how to treat people properly. Like if he did something like that, people could get behind him, because everyone wants to cheer for, a retribution story. But when you're just a piece of shit and you don't take any accountability, there's no way that you should be like loved and like you're saying, right? It's silly.
I just think like situations like that, it's funny because it's like people's excuse for him. Literally, I've heard it is, but he's a good dancer. It's like what? What?
That doesn't mean because he's a good dancer, he should be allowed to harm people.
No, that's exactly what I'm like. So because he's a good dancer, we say fuck it. Beat as many women as you want.
He's responsible for like a public shooting and killed a bunch of people, and he goes, but he's a really good dancer. He didn't
But
mean
he's
to
a
do
really
it.
good dancer.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
it shows how stupid and it shows how superficial
And then
a
you know
lot
what
of
the
people are.
shitty thing is? Stupid people would still like follow him and cheer for
Oh,
him
yeah.
if he did something like that. You'd be like,
But
"You're so
they have.
stupid."
Like
Yeah, I
the
know.
fact that he's
They
beating a
already
woman
have.
nearly to death.
Yeah.
And it's been proven that he's a piece of shit, and yet people love him. And I'm like, the people who are his fans, like stores that still sell his albums, immediately go, okay, you're a piece of shit too, because you want to
Yeah.
sell this guy's albums just because you want to make money over the fact that, again, he's what's the word I'm looking for? Reprehensible. Like he is such a terrible human being that you can't defend him on any grounds, and they tried, like. Because I've looked through a few like Chris Brown videos. People try to defend him. They still try to fucking defend him. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, but you don't know what he's going through, and now he's doing much better. And I'm like,
It
no,
doesn't matter what he's going through because a lot of people go through similar like bad parts in their life or times in life, but they don't act out that way, right? So like you can't just excuse it for that. Oh, you don't know what he's going through. It's like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what we don't know what he's going through. He shouldn't act like that.
no, like he should act. It's like it shouldn't be hard for people not to beat other people up.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like, well, he's changed. It's
If
like, no,
you feel that
normal people
anger,
don't.
go get therapy. Go to anger management. I know it's easier said than done, but like that's what you need to do. Right? Like you don't just go beat the crap out of people.
And has he ever publicly stated like what I did was wrong?
I don't think-
Dude, I don't know. I don't know anything.
I actually don't know enough about that. I doubt it.
Okay.
Or if he did it, no way that shit is legit.
But like I said, like maybe he's done so much shit that we don't know. But
It
that's
doesn't
good.
matter. He's
I
done
know,
enough
I know,
shit
I know.
that I know about,
Like-
and I know the kind of person he is.
No, for sure. But let's just say, like I said, hypothetically, like he admitted like he was wrong and he got sentenced, and then he went and donated a bunch of money to this program. He's part of that program now. He's doing this. Like that'd be a different story. But I don't think he's because he kept on making music right after. Like was not a big deal.
And people
Yeah, like,
still,
People
still.
still loved him.
I also can't remember if she fully pressed charges or not. I can't remember that either. I don't know the story, so I don't want to say something and it be inaccurate.
No, I get that. I don't know. I just think that the fact that people can still like him and like his music shows what's wrong with most people.
Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty, we're at an hour here, so we're gonna call it there. I want to thank you guys for joining me this week here over Discord in our first back to quarantine episode here. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys, for joining me, and to the listeners out there. I'll say just join us next week, and we'll probably be in this in the same setup. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. No one.
Easily turns off his webcam. Right
I don't like being on webcam. Even in class, I've acknowledged I don't
Ken's so
feel
distracted
comfortable.
by your Triscuit box in the background.
Oh, not in that. Just like